Greetings, everyone. Corey here. Special little midnight review just because there really wasn't too much this week. But the one thing I was looking forward to was One Piece Stampede, which is funny that they gave me this little. It's more like a poster, like a postcard card. Uh, I almost laughed when the attendant gave it to me after he scanned my ticket, because he's like, "Oh, it's just you know, theater 14 to the right, and also you get a free poster." And I'm like, kind of a small poster. I was kind of hoping like it was a sticker or a fold up or something. I mean, it's a nice card stock. It has some nice, detail and stuff, as you can see. But yeah, it's just funny that you call it a poster. I'm like, close enough. I mean, free stuff. I don't mind. I'll take it every day because it's free at least. I didn't pay nothing for it because it's part of my ticket already. So, um, I think there probably will be spoilers in this review, just a heads up. But I will say right off the bat, the movie is great. It is fun, exciting. The animation, it seems like they changed it up to match how the new the Wano arc is, and I don't mind. I like it. Feels more like it's ripped from the manga because it seems like it has bolder lines. It feels more old school than newer stuff. So I like it enough. I mean, it's pretty nice. But yeah, man, like so first off, I got into it. The theater was pretty full. It's AMC. It wasn't, I think it was like one of the medium theaters, so it wasn't the smallest. But overall, I mean, I think it was roughly sold out. So probably a good 100 or so people in there. Everybody seemed to like it. Everybody enjoyed, laughed at the same parts, and found out pretty much all the same things. Um, you know, humorous and funny and enjoyed it. A couple ahs in there as well because, well, we got Chopper in the movie, and Chopper is cute as hell. And I have no problem admitting that. But overall, it was a great movie. The music was really good when it kicked in. The story was pretty interesting. It follows this guy at the bottom, Bullet, who was one of Goldie Rogers' um, crewmates, and he was also he was formerly in the Navy as well. It was interesting. So the movie was subtitled. It wasn't in English because the release was a lot closer to the original release in Japan, which was about 2 months ago, I think it was. But yeah, it did really well in Japan, which yeah, I could see why. It's One Piece. It's the 20th anniversary movie, and there is literally everybody in this movie. When they say Stampede, they mean Stampede because everybody is in this movie, and it is crazy. Like it's a little jarring to see all these characters because this takes place. It's supposed to take place right before the Wano arc that's happening right now. Right after, it should be right after Topland, with Big Mom and stuff, but could be wrong. But it definitely, yeah, it should be because of some of the stuff that happens in it. I think even in the trailers they kind of spoil it. Luffy goes Snake Man, so spoiler. So it's definitely after Topland, even though he did know that ability before, but nonetheless, uh, it should be after Topland. And man, it's crazy seeing all these characters. It's literally the worst generation. All the captains are in it. Even their first mates are in it too as well. Even though really the only like one that is notable is Killer, pretty much from what you call it, what's his name, from Kids Crew. And um, man, I totally got off track. Yeah, the one thing I was trying to get to with Bullet is that I don't know, I totally forgot if I said it or not, but they didn't call when they mentioned that he was part of Goldie Rogers' crew. They didn't say D. They said Gold Rogers. They didn't say Gold D Rogers, which, to my knowledge, nobody has called him that. If they always seem to mention the D in the names because that's They do that with Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, when they introduce him, and it's interesting that they did that. I'm not sure why. Um, but yeah, but so with Bullet, I mean, he's pretty much this like it's kind of like Broly in a way. Just as far as his, I mean, for one, he's huge, muscular, giant of man. Uh, Second, he's literally the most powerful person, alone. And thirdly, it's just like his motive is very forward, which makes sense. I mean, he has a name of Bullet, the demon heir, and it kind of makes sense that yeah, he's a bullet goes straight. It's very narrow. It's very you know single project, uh, single path. I mean, it's just straight ahead, and it's not gonna let anything stop it until it meets something, of course, that's tougher than it. Which yeah, surprise in a One Piece movie, uh, Luffy wins, and Luffy is that wall that Bullet runs into. So it's definitely a wall that had to be built very quickly and very uh, post haste. I mean, because Bullet literally just takes out everyone. One on one, he's unstoppable, and it wasn't until they combined forces with uh, the ending team was pretty much a warlord. Uh, what was it? It was a warlord, a pirate, uh, warlord, a pirate, cipher. What was the other thing? It's some admirals. Like it's just in a revolutionary army, and it's just like what? Like you pretty much have one of every power, roughly there, and they're all coming together to, uh, take down this big baddie, and it is just crazy, man. Like it kicks off pretty fast as far as getting into the main story when they're fighting Bullet. He pretty much takes up probably more than half the film, just them fighting Bullet, and it's crazy because there's like this little quiet moment um toward like the beginning of the third act, and it threw me off for a second because it's just people talking about Bullet, and it's like shouldn't have they like it felt misplaced. They felt like this should have been towards the beginning, with his entrance, with his character, but I can see why because it just would have been so much action, 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 fighting, fighting, fighting. It just would have been a ridiculous overload, and yeah, like it just would have been too much. It just would have made you numb to the final fights and everything like that. Because man, the final fight was pretty cool. I gotta say, Luffy, of course, just like in the movies, he always pulls something out that you haven't seen yet. So not sure it would be canon, but it does make sense. His new attack that he does, and yeah, it's like yeah, he probably will never use it again because it's such a buildup that he's not gonna have that time really like in a regular one-on-one fight, and that's why he hasn't done it before and till now. I mean, it's a movie. It's a movie. Movies usually aren't canon, but I think Bullet is actually the first canon character. There might have been one or two others from the movies, but more or less, I believe he should be canon because they had those tie-in episodes in the anime, as well as just everything that he's connected to. It makes sense, and just everything in general. It seems like he is. So uh, overall, Stampede was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. I think it just threw me off a little because yeah, I haven't seen a One Piece movie for a while, all the way through. I should say a lot of times I usually just cut to like the action scenes because the action scenes are usually pretty amazing. But I believe it should be running for another week in most theaters that are showing it right now. Maybe I'll go watch it again this weekend or something. But I'm definitely gonna pick it up when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, probably like next year, in 6 months or a year, because these take forever. Um, but overall, man, it was fun. I haven't seen the last anime movie I saw in theaters was My Hero Academia, Two Heroes. This one wasn't as grand as those as far as the audience, but it was still fun. and I think everybody just loves it because, yeah, Stampede is a more, not Stampede, One Piece is a more older anime, 20 years older, and it is a different crowd than My Hero. Granted, of course, you know, I like My Hero roughly as much as One Piece. One Piece still is probably my top, uh, my top anime as far as longevity and how long it's been running and just quality along the time. But My Hero's still pretty good. But yeah, man, One Piece, it was crazy. Stampede is right because all those characters in this movie, man, it was just a lot, and it's ridiculous like how many characters pop up in this movie, and you're like, like, and they all get formal introductions, and it's just like, oh yeah, here they are, here's them, here's them, here's them, here's them. It is crazy, but I loved it. So till next time, guys. Next week should be Terminator Dark Fates. Hopefully it goes back to form. Genesis was pretty bad. I did like them up until Genesis. Genesis just it's like the Die Hard movies, man. Hopefully they reboot this one pretty well because it's supposed to take place right after Judgment Day, and they kind of just forget about those last two movies. So let's see. Until next time, guys. Later.